Today we're going to talk about measures of central tendency. These include mean, median, mode, and mid-range. That mid-range is a little esoteric. It doesn't come up very much, but it's pretty easy to do, so I've left it on here. Okay, a mean. What's the average? That's just going to be the average. You got to add them up and divide by however many they are. Median is the middle number of an ordered set. It's got to be in order, right, from smallest to largest. Mode, it's got those two little letters right there. That's most often occurring, right? And this is all review, by the way, right? Just giving you some background, getting you comfortable. Two R's and occurring. Mid-range. Mid-range you might not have seen. That's the max minus the min. I divided by 2. Max plus the min, sorry, divided by 2. It's like the average of the biggest and the smallest. And it's really not a very robust data point, so I think I included it because all the questions on tonight's were on the worksheet were kind of had mid-range in there. All right, mean, median, mode, and mid-range for the following sets. All right, so I need to make sure they are in order, all right, from smallest to largest. And if you look, it's 172, 75, 80, 83, 83, 85, 88, 89, 90, 94. It is in order. So this is one you can kind of look at and kind of figure out 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 elements, so I'm going to have 5 before and 5 after. So the median, I just went right to that because I think that's one of the easiest ones, is going to be halfway between 83 and 85, which is going to be 83 plus 85 divided by 2, or 84. Now, if there are an odd number of elements, there is a middle number, and you can use that as the median. Mode, that's the most often occurring. All right, the most often occurring is 83. It's possible to have multiple modes, and it's also possible to have no modes. All right, if all the elements are repeated the same number of times, then there is no mode. Okay. If like I had another 88, for example, then my mode would be 83 and 88. If I had 2 more 94s and another 88, 94 alone would be the mode, all right? So it's like it's first and all the ties, all right? Mean. All right, I'm going to do the mean here. Mean. I just have to add them up and divide. So this is really kind of basic review from your algebra class. 72 plus 75 plus 80 plus 83 plus 83 plus 85 plus 88 plus 89 plus 90 plus 94. And that's it. Okay. And divide that by, I believe there were 10 elements. Divide by 10, 83.9. Again, mean is just the average. Okay. Next, we want to construct a frequency table for that set of data. Okay. So what I've got here is we've got this table, and I put I equals because that's the number of the elements. So like the first choice I have is like 1. The score is 75. How many 75s do I have? 3. That's what F sub I is. So the first score is 75, and I have 3 75s. All right. The next score is 80. I have 4 of those. Next score 85, 2, and so on. Okay. Now from this problem, the mid-range and mode are quite easy. Now the mode is very easy with this one, right? I mean, because it's a frequency table. The mode, which one are the most of? There's 4 80s and there's 4 90s. So the mode is 80 and 90. Now mid-range, that's going to be the, you take the biggest and the smallest, and divide by 2. I forgot to do that for the last example. Mid-range. Okay, I take the biggest plus the smallest and then divide by 2. 75 plus 95 divided by 2. Right, so that's going to be 170 divided by 2, which comes out to like 85. Back up here, the mid-range would have been, mid-range is 72 plus 94 divided by 2. This is 6. 166 over 2, which comes out to 83 for the mid-range. Okay. Mid-range and mode are quite easy, but I also need to find the median and the mean. Now, the median and the mean can be a little bit more difficult, okay? I don't think the median is that hard. I mean, how many things are there altogether? So, 4 plus 4 is 2, plus 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10, 12, 15 total, all right? Which means I want 7 before and 7 after. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the 8th score is 85. So really the median is not bad either. The median is 85 because there's 7 scores before it and 7 scores after it. All right, next, mean. All right. Finding the mean. Well, you can do this kind of the old-fashioned way, all right, where you can kind of type in 75 plus 75 plus 75 plus 75, or you can do 3 times 75 plus, and because your calculator knows the order of operations, it'll do this just fine too. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do all this with a calculator using the statistics functions, okay, in a minute. This is a 4 times 90 plus 2 times 95. Okay, that should give me my sum, and then divide that by 15, and I should get 84.33. Repeat. Okay. All right. So yes, you can do this. You can do a lot of this stuff still with our basic, stuff we did in algebra. But now I'm going to use stat. All right. What I want to do with this is I'm going to use the stat function. I'm going to go to edit 1. All right. So I hit stat. I go to edit, which is choice 1, or I can press enter because that's up. Now remember, we got to clear these lists. We've done this before when we did a little bit of work with regressions, so you should know how to clear these lists. Okay, I'm going to enter the values into L1 and the frequency into L2. So if I put the values into L1 and the frequency into L2, I'm going to have 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, all right, and then over here, I'm going to have 3, 4, 2, 4, 2. There we go. And again, like on the Regents exam, double check, triple check, make sure you didn't miss any numbers in there, okay? That's where kids tend to lose points, if they lose any at all on this type of question. Okay, I put the values in L1, I'm going to hit stat again, and then go over to calculate. All right, so on the calculator, I'm going to hit stat again, go over to calculate, and I want to hit 1 and do one variable stats, okay? That's what I want to use here because I'm not doing a regression, I'm doing like measures of central tendency. All right, I need to tell the calc L1 and L2. Now the L1 is one of these little blue letters. It's second 1, comma, second 2. Now if you don't do that, it will find statistical measures using just the things from L1, and you'll get the wrong answers. Okay, and there you can see, and I can double check my answers here, right? I got 84.33333 for the mean. That's what X bar stands for, X with a bar over it. Right here that I've highlighted is the mean. It gives me the sigma x, which is the sum of the data. It gives me the sum of the data squared. And then it gives me these S of x and sigma x, and we'll talk about those soon, all right? And then it gives me the number of elements n equals 15 on that page. If you arrow down a few times, right, on the calculator, arrow down a few times, you can see all kinds of other additional information. It gives me the minimum, it gives me the first quartile, the median, the third quartile, and the maximum value of x. So you can kind of do this all by putting these into these lists here, okay? That gives you all of that data, all right? And you've already got all these, right? Minimum, median, maximum. We'll talk about Q1, Q3 soon, like soon as in right now. Okay? All right. And you may want to pause and copy down these notes. Okay? First quartile, 25% or below this element. It's also known as the lower quartile. If you want to find Q1, you can multiply the total number of elements by 1/4. That will tell you which element to use. It doesn't tell you what the first quartile is. It just tells you where it is in the list. Same thing for the second quartile or the median and the third quartile, likewise. All right, 50% or below the second quartile and 75% or below the third quartile. All right, so for each of the following sets of numbers, find Q1, Q3, and the median. So Q1, all right, is going to be 12, 13, 14. I count up how many elements there are. There are 11. And then I do 1/4 of 11. It comes out to 2.75, which means since it comes out as a decimal there, it's going to be the third element. I round up to the next number. Okay? And the median, half of 11 is 5.5, so the median is the sixth element. So the third element was 14. The sixth element was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 17. And then 3/4 of 11 is 8.75, which means it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the ninth element, or 20. Okay? All right, if decimal, go up to the next number. If whole number n, you're going to average n and n plus 1. So that's if you have an even number of elements. Let's say you have an even number of elements. Say you have 10 elements, right? You hit times a half, you get 5. Well, the fifth element is not going to be the median. You have to average the fifth and the sixth. So that's just 5 above and 5 below. Okay? All right, and I'll show you that this can be done with the calculator without it being a frequency table. So you go to Stat, go to Edit again. All right, I'm going to clear these lists. Clear these lists out, and I'm going to put in the information. I'm going to pause it while I do that. Okay, and I have entered those into L1. I'm going to go to Stat. I'm going to go over to Calculate and do one variable statistics. Now this time I don't have to tell it anything. It's just going to use L1, and this will give me all of the information. It gives me the mean of the data. The mean is 11.43, right? It gives me the standard deviation and such, which we'll be talking about tomorrow. But if I arrow down, I was supposed to find all 3 quartiles, which is right there. Right, 7.5, 12, and 14.5. So Q1 is 7.5, the median is 12, and the third quartile is 14.5. Find the quartiles and the median. Yeah, there we go. Okay, next, percentiles. All right, percentiles. And this right here is how you can find a percentile. All right, you multiply the number of elements by the percent over 100. All right, so a decimal. If it comes out to a decimal, you're going to go up to the next number. If it's a whole number, you keep that number. That is where you're coming out with B. All right, B is the number before the element. All right, that's the number of before the element. All right, so percentile rank, B plus 0.5E over N times 100. That will give me the percentile rank. So if I want to find P80 for the following set of numbers, what I need to do is, I'm just going to get out of here, all right, and I'm going to go into the total number of elements, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do the percent over 100, so it's 0.8 times 10, which is 8. All right, so it's the 8th element. If it's a whole number, I'm going to keep that number. All right, if it's a whole number, I keep that number. So it's the 8th element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The percentile, the P80 is equal to 5. All right. If it was a decimal number, I would round up to the next one. The percentile rank of 5 is a little bit different. Okay. I take 5, and oh, you know what? I did this wrong. I'm sorry. I have to rank these in order first. You know what? I think we'll probably do this. P80 and percentile rank at the beginning of class tomorrow. I see I'm running short on time, so I'll fix that for you tomorrow. All right, we'll redo P80, and then we'll find the percentile rank of 5. Thanks. See you tomorrow.